Hello everyone! Alright, in today's video, we're diving into some of the best new modern retro-style Metroidvania or action platformers you need to play in late 2025. If you love that old-school retro games mixed with smooth modern gameplay, this list is for you. Also, please note that not all the games on this list are Metroidvanias. I will also include some linear action platformers for variety. Well, let's get into the list. Adventure of Samsara is a modern reimagining of the old Atari 2600 classic Adventure. The original was super simple, but for its time, it was groundbreaking. It showed how much you could do with just a few pixels and a bit of imagination. Adventure of Samsara takes that same idea and transforms it into a beautiful modern game filled with pixel art, action, and mystery. Now here's the fun part. Adventure of Samsara mixes Metroidvania-style exploration with Souls-like combat. The combat feels heavy and deliberate, every swing and dodge has weight, and if you time a parry just right, you'll pull off one of the most satisfying counterattacks you'll ever see in a 2D game. The Good Old Days is a new Metroidvania from Axis Games that takes us back to the magic of growing up in the 1980s. The story takes place in the city of Arastia, where you play as Sean, a kid trying to pay off his missing father's debt, all in just one day. Along the way, you'll team up with your friends, explore the city, and go on an adventure that feels straight out of classic 80s movies like The Goonies or E.T. What makes the game stand out is how much freedom it gives you. As you explore and rescue your friends, each one becomes a playable character with their own powers and playstyle. The game also doesn't force you into one direction. You can choose how to play, where to go, and even which bosses to fight. The choices you make and the time of day you explore can actually change how the story unfolds. Atomic Owl is a retro-styled 2D action platformer that feels like a wild trip back to the 90s. The game stands out with its neon lights, funky vibes, and one crazy idea. You play as a samurai owl with a cursed talking sword. When it comes to gameplay, Atomic Owl tries to be a roguelike, but it doesn't quite get there. The levels and enemy placements never change, so every run feels exactly the same. However, you do get different weapon forms: a katana, a hammer, a whip, and a heavy weapon called the Gunbai. The game's best parts, however, are actually the hidden virtual nest rooms. These are special platforming challenge areas with awesome synthwave music, and honestly, they're really fun. Microvania is a tiny Metroidvania game with a huge heart. Believe it or not, this game runs at just 160 by 90 resolution, and that's actually part of the fun. The whole idea is to take everything you love about big classic Metroidvania adventures and shrink it down into a compact 3-hour experience. And surprisingly, it works really well. At first, the small screen can make platforming a bit tricky. Your character moves quite a lot with just one step, so you'll need some time to get used to jumping and landing safely. Using the D-pad instead of the analog stick helps a lot here. Once you get the feel of it, the game becomes smooth and satisfying to play, with tight and accurate controls that make every move count. If you think you've seen every kind of platformer out there, wait until you play Level Devil. This game doesn't just challenge you, it mocks you. Every level is like the developer personally saying, "Oh, you think you know what's coming? Think again." Level Devil takes everything you expect from a normal 2D platformer and flips it upside down. You see a pit? You think you just need to jump over it? Nope. Something crazy is about to happen. Maybe the floor disappears. Maybe the goal suddenly eats you. You never know. And that's what makes it so funny. Instead of getting frustrated, you'll probably end up laughing every time you die. If you're into retro-style platformers and wild 80s energy, this one's gonna catch your eye. Klaus Thunderballs is loud, flashy, and proudly ridiculous. Imagine an old-school action hero with a big mustache diving through explosions in slow motion. That's basically this game in a nutshell. You play through more than 100 handcrafted levels packed with traps, missiles, and dynamite. The main twist here is the slow motion mechanic. You can pull off crazy stunts midair, bounce rockets back at enemies, or swing past collapsing walls with a grappling hook. When it works, it feels amazing. When it doesn't, it can get a little frustrating. Gundroid is a fast-paced action shooter that wears its inspiration proudly. It doesn't hide the fact that it takes a lot from Contra, but it's so fun and well-made that it still feels fresh, especially for its low price. If you've ever played Contra, you'll feel right at home here. Gundroid lets you carry 2 weapons, switch between them anytime, and even power them up by picking up duplicates. You can also lock your aim in place or dash around the map. The action is fast, the explosions are huge, and every stage keeps you on your toes. There's even local co-op, which is perfect for some couch gaming with a friend. Devil's Drizzle is a cute but challenging 2D platformer with a fun and creative twist. You play as a little kid wearing a frog costume who's ready to go on an adventure. Before heading out, the kid's mom warns that it might rain and tells them to bring an umbrella, but this isn't just a normal umbrella. It has a cat face that can actually talk. Everything seems fun until a strong wind blows the umbrella away into the forest. From there, your goal is simple: chase after it before it disappears. At first, the game seems like a classic platformer where you jump and double jump to get past obstacles. But things quickly get more interesting because most of the level is hidden in darkness. You can only see faint outlines of the platforms around you, so every move feels risky.
Uh-oh.
Fourmiworld is one of the strangest and most creative Metroidvania games out there. It's described as an open-world ant farm Metroidvania. And honestly, that fits perfectly. You play as an interdimensional explorer, a girl who travels through a surreal alien world orbiting a dying star. Your goal is to collect something called Gamut to unlock new abilities, explore hidden areas, and piece together the story of this bizarre, beautiful place. What makes it exciting is how alive everything feels. The environment can be destroyed, secrets are hidden everywhere, and the art style is unlike anything else. Part collage, part surreal dream. And while the base game is free, there's also a small DLC called Wanderei's Writings. It's optional, but it adds extra lore and gives you what the developers call the definitive Fourmiworld experience. SANAE's Sylphid Breeze is a cute and action-packed 2D pixel art platformer that mixes the charm of Kirby with the world of Touhou. You play as SANAE, a shrine maiden who can inhale enemies and copy their abilities using her special power called Spell Spoiler. The gameplay feels fast and smooth. SANAE can dash, jump, slide, and even float through the air using her wind powers to cross gaps and reach new heights. And when she uses Spell Spoiler, she can inhale enemies to steal their powers, transforming into different forms and gaining new attacks. The game's pixel art is adorable, full of bright colors and detailed animations that bring every character to life. It feels nostalgic, like something straight out of the golden age of 2D action games. Star Rift Saga is one of those Metroidvania games that just gets it right. You can tell the developer really understands the genre. The bosses are tough and memorable, the fights feel meaningful, and the build variety is insane. Once you hit the late game, it's just pure fun exploring, grinding for upgrades, and fine-tuning your build. It's crazy to think this might be made by a solo developer because it's that good. Sure, there are a few crashes and some UI issues when managing skills, but the dev is quick to fix bugs and improve things. The game even gives you 6 difficulty options right from the start, and they actually change enemy behavior, not just their health. I love that. When it comes to platformer games, one thing matters the most: the movement. And Aura of Worlds absolutely nails that part. The movement feels smooth, fast, and creative. You can dash, swing, teleport, and even use a grappling hook to fly through levels. It's fun just moving around, and that alone makes the game worth checking out. And since this game is a roguelike, if it reminds you of Spelunky, you're not wrong. The levels have that same dive deeper and reach the exit style, with traps, treasure, and plenty of danger. But the big difference here is how much freedom you have in movement and combat. You can swing across rooms, throw objects at enemies, blow up walls, or just rush through everything at full speed. It gives you a lot of creative ways to play. Quarion is a short and fun Microvania with great level design and smooth movement, but this one has its own twist. Instead of shooting or slashing enemies, you jump on their heads to beat them, Mario style. The catch is, you only have one health point. One mistake and you're done. That makes the game feel tense, but also super satisfying when you pull things off perfectly. The level design is where Quarion truly shines. The world may be small, but it's very tightly built and interconnected. There's plenty of platforming variety, clever shortcuts, and a nice sense of progression as you explore and unlock new areas. If you're into completing games 100%, this one gives you all the tools to do that, though be ready for some tricky jumps that can really test your patience. CONERU Dimension Girl is one of those wild, colorful games that instantly grabs your attention. Imagine a mix between an anime rom-com and a fast-paced action platformer. That's exactly what this is. You play as Socrates, a combat droid who ends up sharing his body with CONERU, a cheerful girl from another dimension. Together, you fight off alien fruit monsters threatening Tokyo, and yes, it's just as crazy as it sounds. The gameplay feels like Mega Man ZX crashing into a dating sim. You fight using both melee attacks and CONERU's laser beam, and when you time your hits right, you trigger flashy combos that fill the screen with explosions and colors. Build up CONERU's happiness meter and you'll enter run mode, where everything speeds up, your attacks hit harder, and the music pumps you up even more. Hellbrella is a fast-paced aerial roguelite hack and slash that throws you straight into chaos, and the only thing between you and death is your umbrella. You play as a cat in a raincoat fighting through the depths of hell, slicing through waves of demonic eyes with insane combos and pure aggression. The deeper you go, the tougher it gets. You'll need to evolve your umbrella, destroy everything in sight, and adapt your playstyle with tons of upgrades. The game features 5 unique umbrellas, over 60 upgrades, and 12 types of permanent skills to unlock. If you love high-speed action, stylish combat, and the thrill of perfecting your moves, Hellbrella is definitely worth checking out. The Warrior is a short but memorable adventure platformer where every character has their own story and their own point of view. You'll switch between multiple heroes, legendary warriors, giant worms, greedy kings, and lazy demons, each with unique powers and challenges, and slowly realize that what makes someone a hero or a villain all depends on perspective. What really makes the Warrior special is how it tells its story. Each character adds a new piece to the puzzle, and by the end, you'll see how their paths connect in unexpected ways. A casual run takes about an hour, but if you want to discover every secret, expect around 3 to 4 hours of fun challenges. Primal Planet is easily one of my favorite new Metroidvania games. It's got everything. Friendly dinosaurs, beautiful pixel art, and yes, you can even hug your wife. You play as a happy caveman living in a colorful prehistoric jungle with your family and your pet dinosaur. Life's peaceful at first, but things quickly take a turn when alien robots invade and your family gets taken away. From that point on, your mission is simple: survive, explore, and save your loved ones. What makes Primal Planet so special is how much heart it has. There's no dialogue at all, but every little animation tells the story perfectly. It's surprisingly emotional without saying a single word. The game isn't super hard or grindy, but it's packed with charm and that classic sense of adventure. Shinobi Art of Vengeance starts with that classic Sega sound, instantly bringing back memories of the old-school ninja days. The Shinobi series has been around since 1987, and now Joe Musashi returns in this brand new adventure. Before you start, you can pick your own challenge, from easy beginner modes to full Shinobi difficulty. You can even customize it to match your playstyle, which is a nice touch. The combat feels great and has plenty of depth. You can slash, double jump, throw kunai, and chain attacks together for big combos. There are also powerful ninja techniques called ninpo, and the ultimate move, Shinobi Execution, which wipes out everything on screen when your gauge is full.
Each weapon a tool, each tool a part of the whole, the master of the shinobi.
O is one of those games that surprises you with how creative and clever it is. On the surface, it looks like a cute little pixel Metroidvania, but once you start playing, you realize it's all about how you think. You play as a small caterpillar made of bombs. At first, you can only move left and right, but to jump, you have to drop a bomb and use its explosion to launch yourself. It sounds simple, but that's the magic of this game. Every puzzle and platform challenge is built around how you use these explosions to move, climb, or even fly across the map. What's amazing is how the game makes you feel like you're discovering something new every few minutes. You'll find spots that seem impossible to reach at first, but later, after learning new tricks with your bombs, you'll realize the solution was there all along. It's not your character leveling up, it's your imagination. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a total surprise in the best way. If you've played old Ninja Gaiden games, you probably remember how brutally hard they were. This one still kicks your teeth in eventually, but at least it lets you breathe first. Made by the team behind Blasphemous, Ragebound mixes gorgeous pixel art with lightning-fast combat. The big difference here is how smooth and energetic everything feels. The game constantly pushes you forward. Enemies appear, you slice them up in seconds and keep running without ever slowing down. It's fast, flashy, and incredibly fun once you get into the rhythm. The game really feels like a modern take on classic Ninja Gaiden, fast, stylish, and packed with energy. That's all for today's list. Subscribe and like for more new exciting Metroidvania games. That's it, and see you next time.